So if you just tuned in, you're watching the Healthy Morning Show right here on Hstv, where day in and day out we come on your screens to serve you with everything that is happening right here in Ghana. We don't talk just politics, we talk health as well, as we keep saying that your health is our priority. So right now it is the Stay Alive segments where we have another educative, another informative interview coming up very soon. As I said previously in the intro, that we're going to be talking about kidney disease. I know a lot of us are out there, we find ourselves in this space. Do we really know when our kidney is failing? What should we do to be able to prevent it, and how can we manage it if we find ourselves in that condition? So as I said previously, we have another great person here in the studios with us. He goes by the name James Makion Amwa. So he is a senior nursing officer at the renal dialysis unit at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital. And of course, when we get experts like this on the show to give us more education on this, it opens our mindsets, it broadens our horizons into things that is happening in the health space. So as we have Mr. James here in the studios with us, good morning. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you too?
I'm okay, by God's grace.
Great.
Having
Nice
you
to be
here.
back. This is my second time.
This is the second time coming here. Okay, and it's always a privilege having you here on the show as well.
Thank you.
Because we know that you're going to educate us more when it comes to the health space. As I'm talking about the kidney health, a lot of people are out there. When we talk of how our kidney is failing, a lot of people might not know when their kidney is failing, what they're supposed to do to manage it, and all of that. So it is very dire when it comes to how we can be able to manage our kidney and what can we do to prevent diseases coming in. So once again, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Again to educate us.
Right.
So let's move straight into it. So talking about kidney, first of all, just explain to us what the kidney is as an organ in our human body. Why is it important to us in the first place?
Okay. So God in his own wisdom, when he created human beings, noticed that as our organs are working, we are eating, there's digestion of things, we're inhaling things, there will be a need for the toxic materials and then the waste to be removed from our bodies. So just as when we do, we set up our homes, there are drainages and bins, dustbins. So God had created a kidney like that to ensure that our bodies are cleared from those toxins and waste. And so every human being ideally should have 2 kidneys.
Okay.
And these 2 are located below our rib cage. If you look at someone's back, below the rib cage, we have 2 kidneys there. But there are people who are born with 1.
There are people born with one.
With 1 kidney.
And is that normal?
It's abnormal because you're supposed to have 2. So when a woman gets pregnant and a baby is being formed, it goes through a lot of processes. That's how you have a child with holding heart. You have a child with other conditions. So some may not have all the 2 kidneys developing. So they will be born with just 1 kidney. But the other issue is that you not even know how many kidneys you have until you do a scan. And someone with 1 kidney can survive and live and do their normal things as someone with 2 kidneys.
I see.
That is how you can donate your kidney to 1 person
and
still have 1 to be okay. So these kidneys are in our bodies to make sure that they filter the blood of all these toxins and other materials. Now if you look at the kidneys, you have what we call nephrons. Those are the cells within the kidneys.
Okay.
And it has a capsule that the blood goes to with filters in there that filters all of those toxins.
Okay.
And also remove excess fluid from our bodies. Add water to it. It comes into our urinary tract and then we urinate as urine.
Okay.
So the kidneys produce urine in our bodies. So when we go into the urine, it's made up of toxic materials, other unwanted materials, plus water. And then it filters them out from our bodies. So in that case, then ensures what's called fluid balance. So that you don't have too much fluid accumulating in your body.
Okay.
That even explains why when the weather is cold, we urinate less.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we urinate more then, because the brain tells, but if it's very hot and you're losing some through your sweat and there's also a way of reducing how much urine you make. So all of these are part of the things that happens. So in addition to maintaining our fluid balance, another important function of the kidneys is that it ensures what we call electrolyte balance. There are some electrolytes in our bodies, for example, potassium, sodium. They are all electrolytes that we need in our bodies in a particular amount. So if in case it's going up, then the kidneys will take more from it. Okay. Even in our blood pressure, the kidneys play a role in ensuring you have normal blood pressure.
Wow, okay.
So in terms of how it takes too much fluid from our bodies, it combines the electrolyte in terms of the sodium. Sodium is like salt. So if you've taken too much salt, say you've taken too much salt, it will push your BPs up. Yeah. Because too much salt will ensure that there's more fluid in you. So an example we usually say is that if I eat cooking food and there's too much salt in it, like you're doing soup, what do? You add more water to dilute the salt content. So in that case, if you have so much sodium in your body, the body then tries to conserve more fluid so that it can dilute it, so it doesn't become too salty. In that case, you are keeping more fluid in your body. If there's more fluid in your body, the heart must now use more effort to push those fluid around. And that can increase your blood pressure.
But talking of the dilution, a lot of people felt that it doesn't really have an impact when it comes to the health aspects, that maybe it just changes the taste, it makes it less salty. But then, so you're saying that it actually has an impact in
So I use that as an example, and it does, because if you add more water to the soup, the amount of soup you drink and the salt content will be lower than when you don't add
the water,
more water, because then you are getting more. Because when you add more water, then the quantity of soup increases. So you can't drink as much as you would have drunk. So that's the same mechanism that we have in our bodies, where the body tries to conserve more fluid so that you don't have too much salt in our blood. And therefore, the volume of your blood increases. And with that increase, it has an effect on your blood pressure. So if there's too much salt, then the kidneys will make sure that it takes so much sodium from your blood, so that the salt content will go down, so you don't have to conserve more fluid and lead to high blood pressure. It also helps in our blood, the production of red blood cells. So when you say someone is anemic, or somebody has, you could say moja swati, as they usually say in tree, means that the red blood cells in your blood has reduced. But the kidneys produce a hormone which helps our bone marrows to produce red blood cells. So if your kidneys are failing, it means that you cannot be able to produce this hormone, which will help you to have your red blood cell go up. And so most of our renal patients have anemia because the red blood cell content volume is low. Because this hormone that must be produced is not producing all of those things. So these are some of the functions that the kidneys play in our bodies. And these are all vital functions, because if it doesn't do that, then all the other problems start coming in and the patient can lose his life. Right.
I see. So basically the kidney doesn't just perform one function, it has a lot of other functions. And then it's being two right there. Why exactly do we have two kidneys, but the rest of the organs is only one, and then it's functioning quite properly?
So I would say, one, because of the function it plays, because if it doesn't clear these things, then the power stop can cause a problem. Now, if you look at an average human being, we have close to 5 to 6 liters of blood. So this blood must all go through the kidneys to ensure that it clears all of those toxins. If it's just one kidney, that means that all the pressure will be on one
kidney.
And all like other organs, like the liver, that the cells can reproduce, the kidneys is not like that. So for example, you have close to 1 million to 1.2 million of cells, we call the nephrons, in each kidney. If you lose 500, you are not going to get additional 500 to grow. So I think God says, okay, then let me give you two, so that at least the two can work at the same time. Or if one fails, the other can continue to work. And that's why people don't recognize their kidney disease until it gets to the worst stage, because one kidney can go up, the other one will sustain you.
So you think you're fine?
No, yeah, you think you're fine. You are fine.
You're fine.
Because you don't see.
But the other has failed.
The other one has failed. Well, you don't see any signs that it has failed, because the other one is doing the work. Even the other one that is remaining, you can get like 50% function and still be okay without even knowing that you have a problem, until you get to a stage where now it's not able to do anything at all.
I see. So then, still talking about how these kidneys function a lot in our body. I know that a lot of things that we as people we do that could, you know, cause harm to our kidneys, not just one, but maybe two of it. So what are some of the things that you say people keep doing that could cause kidney diseases to come in or to set in? What are some of the places people could also find themselves in that could cause kidney disease to come in?
So we have two types of kidney disease. We have the acute kidney injury and the chronic kidney disease. The acute kidney injury is more or less like the initial stages of kidney disease, and that one is reversible. So for example, you get an infection, you get malaria infection, it's not treated properly, and then the kidney shuts down because of the infection. Once you treat the infection, the person's kidneys will resolve. The function will go back to it. A woman goes to labor, she bleeds. See, when you are losing blood, the brain tells the kidneys not to work, because the more the person is losing more blood, you are losing more fluid. So if you are also producing more urine, then you are dehydrating the body. It will not get the water it needs, and so the brain will shut the kidneys down. If you're able to get the person enough blood quickly, enough fluid quickly, then the kidneys will bounce up because the brain will tell the kidneys, oh, I'm getting more water now. I'm getting more blood now. So therefore, start working. Then the kidneys can start working.
The two are working together.
Two are working together.
Wow,
so the brain controls all of those things.
Yeah, okay.
So someone also is severely dehydrated. Someone has cholera or any other disease that makes the person produce watery stools so many times. If such a person is still producing the watery stools, kidney disease may come in, which is an acute one, because your brain will still cause the kidney not to work, because if it does that, you lose more fluid.
Okay.
You may take some medications that cause an allergic reaction or a sudden problem to your body. The kidneys can stop their function because the brain will have to control that. But as long as that medicine or that toxin or that poison is dealt with, then the kidneys will go back to its function. So that's the acute stage.
Okay.
And with that, if you get proper treatment and quickly, you can be able to prevent it. But the second one is a chronic kidney disease that is more progressive and it's irreversible.
Oh, okay.
And so most of the patients we talk about in the news, kidney patients, are all, they also have CK, the chronic kidney disease.
Oh.
Yes, because if you get to that stage, it means that it's not reversible. You've lost all the function of your kidneys. You've lost all the two kidneys. The cells in the kidneys are unable to do the functioning the way they're supposed to. It doesn't mean they don't produce anything at all, but supposing you have just two people, you employ just two people to clean the whole of your studios, right? Then you have just one person cleaning the whole place. And this one person is already sick. He cannot even work properly. It means the amount of work he can do will be low. So some of them, they do the kidney function test, realize they have some small function. But this function that he has is unable to compensate the whole work of the body, so they are in the chronic kidney stage. So for the chronic kidney disease, as I said, it is progressive and then it's irreversible.
Okay.
It takes a long time to detect. And the major causes is diabetes, hypertension.
Okay, so these results to one having the chronic disease.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if someone has hypertension and it's not treated properly, can lead to kidney disease. But in that case, it will be the chronic kidney disease.
Oh, okay.
Another one is also diabetes. High sugar content has a problem that affects the kidneys too. Then we have other things like those who abuse herbal concoctions.
Okay.
I will not say herbal medicine, but herbal concoctions. Because
yes, we have a lot of people mixing a lot of stuff together when they find out that they are ill.
And people sell different kinds of herbal
on the
medicines
streets,
on the street, in the car. Many of them haven't gone through the right
process
in the FDA and the others. So we don't even know the active ingredients in them. We also don't know the dosage. But many of them, you just drink and keep drinking.
Many of them don't even have labels on it.
No labels.
So you can't even tell what you're drinking.
But medicine is not food that you can eat and eat and eat and eat. So there's something must initiate you taking the medicine. There should be what called dosage. I have to drink maybe 1 teaspoon this number of times in a day for this number of days. Then I'll go back and check, do my labs and see whether the problem has been cured, and then you can continue. But these people, they only advocate drink this medicine, keep on drinking. And the one that they say that I don't like is that they will say, if after 3 or 4 days you don't get better, go to the hospital.
Yeah, so meaning they are even telling you that you might not even get better after 3 or 3 days. But
So
people still buy
exactly, why do you have to start treatment before I go and see my doctor? Or like you have a lawyer, so let me go to court. If I fail in court, now come to my lawyer. That shouldn't be the case. It makes no sense. So all of these herbal concoctions that we take can also lead to it. And major lifestyle issues. So chronic kidney disease is a non-communicable disease. It's a disease that I cannot pass on to you. Okay. As like the way people can pass on infections.
It's not contagious.
It's not contagious. And the major cause of most of these, like cancers and others, is lifestyle. So those who drink alcohol, those who don't exercise the body, those who take too much sugary drinks, those who live sedentary lifestyle. So from the office in the car, they come back home, sit by the TV, eat, and they are sitting there. Some even sleep whilst watching TV. They wake up in the morning, they bath, sit in the car, go to the office, use the elevator.
They're not active.
No activity. No activity. They eat anyhow, eat late in the night, eat a lot of fat and all of those things. All of these can trigger diabetes, hypertension, and can lead to most of these chronic kidney disease that we see. So lifestyle is also very important in terms of how someone can get the chronic kidney disease. So if you don't manage the AKI properly, then it can lead to chronic. But there are those who have chronic without going through the acute stage. because their lifestyle and the things that they are doing progressively will be affecting their kidneys. But as you not see
the signs
and symptoms until it's get to a stage where it's unable to do the work it has to. For example, we come to a hospital when the first one kidney has been damaged or it's not working properly, or where the whole kidney function is low. In that case, then we have to go straight into treatment for them. Yeah.
I see.
So it's not like malaria that I have fever. So
yes, you can check your horse. You can check like it. This one is different. So you think that you're fine, but something is happening in your system.
So if you don't do regular, say annually an annual kidney function test as part of a general medical examinations, you may not know that you have a problem like that.
Okay, interesting. So we're still learning a lot right here, talking about kidney diseases, and as I said, we have a lot of people in that space where we're not even aware of the little things that we do that might cause us to, you know, get this kidney diseases right here. So we have James Makion Amwa here in the studios with us once again. He is a senior nursing officer at the renal units right there at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So, you know, as we're talking about this, as I keep saying, a lot of people are in this space. As he said previously, some of the sedentary lifestyle that some people have been living, from work to your car, back to your house, you're not doing anything, no activity. Hey, you're causing your kidney to, you know, cause problems. You're causing problems right there. And for the people that, you know, you find out that they have diabetes and hypertension and all of that, please, let's stop with these herbal concoctions we keep taking from the roadside without these labels. I mean, come on. We should know what we're taking into our bodies. We should know exactly what we're doing that might cause, you know, these diseases to spring up. So, of course, we're going to be activating the phone lines very soon. So you can also call in, bring in your questions, your experiences. If you are in that space, you can also talk about your experience. Any question at all that you have for Mr. James, he's here to answer you. So let's move back into what we're talking about again. So as you said, you might not be able to detect certain things earlier to know that, okay, I have a kidney failure right there. So what are the earliest signs and symptoms that one would see, or when would one really see that my kidney is failing, I need to go for medical treatment?
So first of all, I will advocate for people to do regular medical checkup.
Okay.
So if you do that, then any change in your labs the following time can give you an indication. But you see, the kidneys produce urine.
Yeah.
So when it tries to clear these toxins, it produces urine. So once you check that one, your urine production is not commensurate to how much you take. So for example, I drink this 500 mils. Supposing I do 2 liters of this every day, but I don't see me urinating more
often. Okay. Then
it means that there's something wrong.
Okay.
Some of them also lead to what called edema, where your feet start elevating. They easily get tired because they start having anemia.
Okay.
Some of them have difficulty in breathing because this fluid that you are drinking, but you're not urinating, start filling up in other organs in our body. Some are found in our lungs, affect your breathing. Some can even affect your heart in terms of how your heart can even function.
Okay.
So there are a number of signs that these people will give. But most of them, as I said, see these symptoms when they are getting to the last stage, or when the kidney function is so low that it can't support the body. But if you start having difficulty in breathing, you easily get tired. I mean, you are walking, you are tired, you're unable to eat, you feel very sick. If you look at your feet, you realize that your feet is swelling up, then you really need to get to the hospital. At times, too, some of our medical team are unable to diagnose it quickly, because it's not some of the tests that we usually do, kidney function tests. So someone may have malaria. There's a child who we saw who had malaria, and they treated the malaria, but didn't complete the treatment. Okay. So because of that, the infection wasn't cleared. It affected the kidney. The boy kept going back, and they didn't even realize that the boy was not urinating, passing more urine. They didn't even know to realize that the boy became too pale, anemic, and they didn't even have to give blood to the person. So there are a number of signs that you show, but it may not point directly to the fact that you have kidney disease until we do the kidney function test. And then God gives us an indication of that. Right.
I see. But then, as you were talking about this case or this issue that happened, are there specific tests that you guys use to be able to determine that this person has kidney disease? I mean, as some people come inside with malaria and all of that, as you're saying, some of these diseases might lead to kidney infections. So what are the particular tests you use? Let's say if I come in with malaria, and then yes, I've been diagnosed with malaria, how would you be able to tell if it's going to, you know, move into the kidney side?
So if you have malaria and we give treatment to, like we give them normal malaria treatment, within 3 days you should see some improvement.
Oh, okay.
But
So
after 3 days, you are not seeing any improvement. You are not breathing well. We need to give you oxygen, for example. Your urine production is not that much compared to how much fluid we are giving. Then we'll quickly ask to go and do kidney function test. And then we do the kidney function test. We see the parameters, sodium, creatinine, and others.
Yeah.
That will give us an indication as to whether the kidney is functioning properly or not.
Okay.
Some also, we ask them to go and do scan of their kidney to see whether the kidneys are of the same size, or they've shrunk, or they become too big. If the kidney shrinks, it reduces its function. If it's too big, what is causing it to be too big? That can also affect its function as well. Okay. I almost forgot to mention this. Okay. Obesity is also one of the risk factors for it, like all other non-communicable diseases. So those who don't exercise, they end up becoming obese, have too much fat accumulated in them, can also lead to that. So if someone, for example, has any disease, and as I say, usually don't have a standalone, someone says, I have kidney disease as a standalone condition.
It comes from something.
So it comes from something. So we'll do some labs, even start treatment for some of them. Okay. And as undergoing the treatment, realize that this patient is getting the right treatment per the protocol. How come the patient's fit is getting elevated? How come the patient is not getting better? Let's go and do these other labs, including kidney function tests. Then the results come and tell us, oh, the sodium, which the body must keep at a particular level, is too high. The potassium is too high. These are the electrolytes I spoke to you about. The kidney function per the calculation is lower than 15, and therefore we must be able to give an intervention. Okay. So that's how usually we do those diagnoses. That's why those who don't have the specialty in other district and regional hospitals, they usually diagnose it late. Okay. But if it's something that, and it may not cross their mind until, because they think, oh, I'm doing this particular treatment. Someone comes with complaints. And even in Ghana, people stay home for long before they go to the hospital. Yeah. So he had malaria. They even go to a herbalist or a pharmacy shop to go and buy something. Yeah. So they've already lost some time. You know, and then they'll come, you start treatment, you are not seeing improvement. Okay, so let's do kidney function test. And then when you do, you realize that the kidneys are not functioning properly. Then we have to go into the other treatment. Yes. Oh, okay. But
then with the people that come in the hospitals then you find out that they have kidney problems, at which age would you say, this normally affects? Would you say it affects teenagers or adults or even young kids?
I think right now we are seeing more young people than the elderly. And even our unit, the youngest I've seen was a 3-year-old boy.
3 years?
Yes.
How?
Youngest I see. He had an infection, and then what we call that primary health care management is very low. It's very poor. Okay. Because if someone is sick, the child had malaria, they didn't take the boy to the hospital early, and they kept him in the hospital for some time without being able to, identify that they was getting into severe malaria. By the time they referred to Kolebu, he had gotten into complicated malaria, and then issues started coming in. That's the youngest I've seen 3. But if you look at my experience in our unit, mostly young people now. And the scary part is that these are young people who should be working to be able to generate income for the country. And now losing all of these.
They are the ones that are moving in for.
They are those who are getting sick and getting sick. So we are losing a lot of workforce. And I'm seeing more females too than males now. And that's some of the things we do. If we don't have proper management for you, a woman who has end-stage kidney disease will not advise to get pregnant, because then it's possible you will not make it and the baby will not make it. Oh, okay. Because the kidneys must also take away the toxins from your baby too. And then when you are pregnant, you build more weight, you get more fluid in you. The kidney must be able to do that. If the kidney is not functioning like that, we can't rely on dialysis 100% before you can be able to. So we are losing a lot of our women and a lot of those young people to it. And for me, it's not different from the other non-communicable diseases, because we are getting more young people not eating right, not living right, living as if there isn't tomorrow.
Like they don't care.
Always chilling and chilling. I think, why do you want to chill now and suffer in the future? Yeah. Some are abusing drugs. Yeah. Some are, they don't sleep at all, on their phones throughout the night, no sleep. Sedentary lifestyle. You don't see the young people now exercising and playing.
No, they're not being productive. They don't even care about that aspect. All they know is to, move into the clubs and then chill.
Exactly. And stuff. So it's increasing the number of young people we are seeing It's very bad. I mean.
Okay, but then you said you're getting a high number of females coming in. Is there something that you say females are doing that is rather causing the number to go higher and higher than the male?
I would say because women go to the hospital than men. There are many men in their houses who are suffering, but they haven't really come.
Oh, okay, so then it means that
the problem
there might be people, males over there that are also having
but
just that they haven't moved.
Exactly.
Oh,
no, women go to hospital quickly than men.
Yeah, okay.
Most men would rather keep it themselves and then later will go when it's worse. So I say, if I see more women now, it means that we are having more of them coming to the hospital quickly, and then we are doing that. But not all renal patients are on dialysis and transplant.
Okay.
So I said there are stages. So for example, if you take the chronic kidney disease, for example, you have stage 1 to stage 5.
Okay.
So until you get stage 5, don't do dialysis.
Okay. So
we manage you medically. So we give some medicines to correct. So for example, if it's your BP that is causing the problem, we'll give you BP medications to make sure we bring your BP under control. If it's the sugar, we also make sure that is also under control. Whatever is causing it, we try and give some medicines to control it. So the number of high number of people who are within stage 2 to stage 4 who come to the clinic for review. We check their labs, ask them to do their labs. So there are those that we are monitoring, but not all of them are on dialysis or on transplant. So if you look at those ones, they will have more people coming in there. But when we still give our interventions in the stage 2 to stage 4, we are not seeing any improvement. The kidney function keeps dropping. Then we can go into dialysis or ask to do transplant.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So with someone that has the kidney disease, after moving into the hospital, how regular would you say the person should keep going to the hospital for kidney screenings, and how effective are those kidney screenings that you do?
So if you are going to the clinic, then at the end of every review, the doctor will give you when you should come.
Okay.
And then which labs you should bring.
Okay.
So for example, you come today, they'll check your labs. It's okay, so take this medicine or do this and that. Let me see you in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
When you're coming in 2 weeks, bring these labs, and then you bring the labs, and then they will also keep monitoring the kidney function for you. But if you go into the end-stage renal disease, that's the last stage of the stage 5, then you need to, they will counsel you as to whether you do kidney transplant or you do dialysis.
Oh, okay.
And let me add that the dialysis too, we have some of the acute kidney injury patients who do dialysis about 2 to 5 sessions, and then the kidney resolves. So for example, as I mentioned, if the cause is from a poison or medicine that they took, or from an infection they had, or from any other thing, once they do some few dialysis sessions, it will complement the work of the kidneys, get more toxins cleared from the body, so that you can go back into there's like stage 3 or stage 4 where you don't need dialysis, but I'll keep monitoring you. One thing is that if the way the kidney functions, I mentioned earlier that the kidneys do not reproduce themselves.
Yeah.
So if you have acute kidney injury today and care is not taken, it can progress to the chronic kidney stage because it's not at the liver, so the cells do not grow back. So the little that is left. So an example would be, we have like Ghana Armed Forces. We are having a war with, say, Togo, for example. And then we have, say, 1 million soldiers. We go to the war and we lose 500 of them. Now, we have lost 500 soldiers. So it's now these 500 soldiers remaining who must keep fighting the war. And so
it's not going to be as effective as if it was 1 million.
Exactly. And number 2, those soldiers on the war cannot give birth and produce more soldiers there. So it's the same 5. So if today another 50 is killed, it reduces to 450. So they'll keep reducing until the time that is okay now. We have kidney, a stage where you need to start doing transplant or start with a transplant or start doing dialysis.
Okay. But then looking at the lifestyle of patients with kidney diseases, how would you say their lifestyle is like, and what are some of the things you recommend to them to be able to, improve their quality of life? How would you say kidney patients' lifestyle turns to become? So
it depends on which stage the person is in.
Okay.
So those who are in the stage from stage 2 to stage 4, where they haven't started dialysis, they can go to work, do their normal activities, but there are some restrictions that we give them in terms of what you can eat, what you can drink, and even how you can work. So if someone is like in stage 4, we don't recommend them to do a lot of activity. or any work that is too stressful. Because the more you do that, you burn more energy, more waste are produced in the body, and the kidneys will be forced to do extra work, which can lead to reducing the number of cells that you have. So we give those counsel to them. Some of them will tell them not to take too much water due to where they've got into.
I see.
Because if they take in more, the body cannot produce the urine. And so all of them will keep accumulating in the body. Once the water is accumulating, it doesn't have a reservoir. So you see it in the blood, you see it in the cells, the tissues, and can even affect the way that the organs also work. We give them some medications that they need to take, and we tell them to take it religiously. There are some labs that we ask them to do almost every month and bring it to the clinic for us to see whether there's improvement or not. So there are a number of things that we ask them to do. Yeah.
Okay. So basically it means you're supposed to know the stage you're in, if you're in stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3, to be able to know what exactly exercises you should be doing, if you should be doing this and that.
Right.
And all that. And then how does it advance from stage 1? Let's say one goes in for treatments or for management of the kidney disease in the stage 1 stage. How is it going to, advance into the stage 4, even after treatments are going on?
So the stage 1 is the stage where we say that things are okay. We move to stage 2, the kidney function starts reducing. What will cause it to reduce? Some of them, it may be that the treatment is not working, or the things that we ask the person to do, the person is not doing, or the kidney itself is not responding.
Oh, okay.
Right. So there's not everybody who will transition from stage 2 to stage 5.
Okay.
Some of them they can be within stage 4 for a number of years without degenerating to the stage 5. But and I know someone who was at stage 5 but moved to stage 4 and was there for a long time until the person died after 4 years. So the body is it's complicated. It's not black and white. That's why I advise people that don't say, oh, this person was sick, he took this medicine, got better, so give me the same medicine.
Take the same medicine.
Because the bodies are different, they respond differently. So that's why we have doctors, nurses, and others over there. Once you bring your results, they'll keep advising, and then we are going to monitor you every time. Almost every month you do a kidney function test, you do your ultrasound scans to check whether the kidneys are reducing in size or not. You come, we'll give you advice. If you come and then it's not working, we'll do some few labs again, see why it's not working, give some intervention to ensure that at least you don't keep losing the function that you have.
I see.
Right.
Okay, so previously we were touching on some of the treatments you use when it comes to kidney disease, and you touched on first kidney transplant, then dialysis. But then let's talk on the kidney transplant. So tell me, how do you go through this? What processes do you use to be able to, move into the kidney transplanting when it comes to this aspect? Because I know you're supposed to find someone or a donor to, give in the kidney transplant and all of that. So before we move into that question, let me just remind my viewers that the phone lines are activated. So anything we're talking about right now, you can send in your questions. You can call the number on your screens with 0302 776 379. Once again, 0302 776 379. And please remember to lower the volume on your TV set so we can be able to have a smooth conversation right here with Mr. James right here in the studios with us. So still talking on the kidney transplants, what processes do you go through? So
the initial treatment is the medical management. That's if you are not in the stage 5. Once you get stage 5, what we need to do is to get a kidney dialysis done. As we do the dialysis, then we'll go into transplantation.
Okay. So
the first will not be transplant, because before you do transplant, you're supposed to get a lot of these toxins cleared from the body through dialysis. So make sure the body is a bit stable to do the transplant. Now let's talk about the transplant. So transplant means that all your 2 kidneys are not able to function. So somebody is giving you a kidney. In other jurisdictions, they have what called the cadaver donation, where somebody dies, they take the person's organs, store them in an organ bank. And so if somebody needs one, they give the person's kidney to you. So if you watch those foreign movies, someone says, if I die, this organ,
donate my organs.
Someone is involved in an accident. They get to the accident scene, there's no way the person can survive quickly. If the person has signed a consent that my body can be given, any organ can be given out when I die, and that consent is there, they'll quickly take the person to the theater, take those organs, save them in the bank, and then give it. But we don't have that in Ghana. We have the live donation policy.
Okay.
So before I can receive someone's kidney, there should be somebody who is alive.
Oh, okay.
To do some labs to see whether the person's antibodies or the person's body is compatible to mine. Because the new kidney I'm getting is going to be a foreign body in me. So if you are not compatible, my body will destroy it.
I see.
So there's no way I can accept it.
Okay.
In addition to that, there are some legal things, hurdles you must cross. You cannot sell your kidneys. No.
Yeah.
Because if you sell it for money, and then later the one you have also fails, you become a burden on us.
Okay.
Number two, it will also be a means of the rich exploiting the poor. Because someone says, I don't have food, so I said, okay, I'll give you 10,000 for your kidney.
Okay, before we move back into that, we have a caller right here with us. Hello, good morning, Brides. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah.
So, Bride, what do you have for us? We're talking about kidney disease.
Yeah, actually, one problem that I went on a checkup on my organs that's relating to my kidney and also to my liver. But honestly speaking, I went and they didn't tell me what exactly was wrong with me.
Okay.
Yeah, but what he said is that I should cut salt. And also I want to ask doctor if, like, you urinate frequently and it's foamy, does it have anything relating to the kidney or the liver? Because I didn't get any information from the doctor. He just told me to cut those things and also to take the medication that he has prescribed for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but yet still now I still have the foaming in my urine.
Oh.
So I want to ask the doctor. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you too, Bright. So that was coming from Bright, and apparently he has a problem right there. So he has been to the hospital. You know, he has gone in for checkups, but he hasn't gotten any information as to what is causing his kidney failure. And then he's asking that if he's urinating, he sees some foamy, you know, forming right there. So how is that related to his kidney and his liver?
So he mentioned that he was told to cut salt. Yeah. Which means that he has a problem with salt. Hypertension.
Okay.
And therefore, they ask him to cut the salt so that the sodium content will not be too high for you. So when you urinate in a particular place, it will foam. Yeah. Right. But our patients, some of them have foamy urine. And some of them, they urinate in the system of a water closet and they flash. It's like the way you've put washing powder in there. Once it flashes, you see the foam. Such people have a problem with their kidneys because the kidneys is excreting protein which should not be excreted. So the filter in the kidneys shouldn't allow protein to come through it and glucose and blood. But because the filter is damaged due to, for example, the hypertension that he's talking about, then it will make the urine foamy. He'll go and do the kidney function test and we realize that she may have blood like plasses and then protein plasses. That's what is causing it. He needs to get to the hospital. They may have to bring a referral from wherever he is to a place that we have doctors specialized in kidneys. They'll do a lot of labs and then give some intervention to see whether it can reduce. Right? So if you urinate in a particular place and it foams, it's not really a cause of a problem. But if you urinate and it's not hitting the same place, but say in the WC, and it's still it's foamy, then you need to get to the hospital quickly. Because it means that you're either excreting more blood in your urine or more protein or glucose, and that can also lead to that.
Okay, interesting. So I hope Brad got that right there. And it seems we have another caller here with us. Hello, good morning, Edmund. Hello, Edmund, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can you please hear me?
Okay, hello, Kwesi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm okay, by God's grace. So we're talking on kidney disease. What do you have for us?
Okay, so can I go on with my question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I would like to know how can you make your kidney healthy? Because most of the discussion have been centered on how to treat the kidney problem. But then some of us don't know how to keep our kidney healthy. The kind of food that we need to eat, the kind of exercise that we need to go through daily to make sure that we keep a healthy kidney. And another thing that I would also like to know is, at the latter stages, do your body start breaking down? Because a friend passed away with a kidney issue, and then he loses conscience and then regains conscience. So I don't know whether it was related to the kidney issue or there were other subsequent issues that was affecting.
Okay, thank you so much, Kwesi. Okay, so that was Kwesi also coming in, you know.
So as I said, we'll get to the prevention part, but that's when we talk about what you need to do to make sure your kidneys are healthy. So we'll do that if there is, you give me the opportunity. And then the body breaking down. So any organ is affects the entire body. So by all means, if your kidneys have failed and it's not able to remove all those excess toxins and those things, so then what will happen is that these toxins will poison the entire body.
Okay.
So some can even go into coma out of that. Some can die out of that. So the body breaking down is true. I mean,
it will break down.
It will by all means break down because the kidneys is not getting the toxins out and they're piling up. So an example I can use literally is that you are in this room. The cleaner doesn't come to clean this room. Yeah. But this is where we eat. This is where we wash. This is where we do everything. We'll get to a point we can't stay here. Yeah. Because the stench that will be coming with, you start seeing rats and mouse in your room. So if you are not clearing all of those toxins, you are not balancing the fluid in you, you are not balancing the electrolyte, you are not getting more red blood cells produced because the kidneys are not functioning properly, then the entire body will be affected and then it will break down. So that is what he said.
Okay. And now let's move to how we can keep the kidney healthy.
So let me quickly finish with the transplant.
The transplants, okay.
So with the transplant, so once you have somebody who is ready to donate, then the person must be able to be compatible with you. So we'll do all those labs to see if you are compatible. There's another legal part, ethical clearance you need. Okay. So that it will be that you have voluntarily decided to give your kidneys to the person. Okay. So one, you should be somebody you know, someone you are related to. Because studies usually say that those who are related to each other tend to have compatibility than those who are not related. Number two, you should be somebody you are giving your kidneys out for free. So at times I hear people call our unit and say, oh, there's a woman who called. It was a sad story. A single mother, 3 children. She has no money to take care of the children. And someone told her when she calls the renal unit, there are people who need kidneys and they can pay her. So she should donate her kidney for money. So he said, oh, if I know somebody, I should let her know. She will give 1 kidney out so she can get money to take care of the children. And the answer is no, the law doesn't apply. It doesn't say that. So if we realize that there's monetary inducement, it will disqualify you. And so they'll do the interview panel, will interview you, the patient, separately, interview the donor, the one
person receiving
who's going to donate also separately, and see. So for example, we can ask you, where do the person live? So suppose I'm the one who's sick, you want to give me a kidney. So it should be somebody you know. They ask you, where do I live? Or what is my father's name? Okay,
so if I don't know all these,
if you don't know all of this, disqualify because it means that you are not someone who is close to the person. As I said, we want to prevent the chance of someone using money to influence somebody to give their kidneys out. Or someone forcing. There's a story in Nigeria where an ex-minister took one of his either a husband or one of his workers to the UK. He didn't tell the boy that he was going to remove his kidneys for his daughter. So they get there, and at the point, you know, in America, like even in Ghana, you have to sign a consent form. So in signing the form, the guy realized that there's a portion that says that he's going to undergo surgery. But he said, I'm not sick. Which surgery is it? And then they told him that he has agreed to give his kidney to the minister's daughter. He said, no way, you haven't done that. And then the minister was arrested. So if we don't put these things in place, we'll get bosses forcing their servants and their workers to do that. Or I'll fire you. Like, see, now Ghana is equal to get work. If I tell you that if you don't give me a kidney, I'll sack you. I need money. Exactly. So you are putting all of these things in place to prevent that. So that's how. So it's a bit complicated. But once you're able to satisfy all of these, Koliba has been doing transplant now. So we can do it for you in Ghana. It's a bit expensive. The last one was $22,000 for the procedure alone. And then there's some things you need to do. But it's more sustainable than the dialysis because if you need to do 3 sessions, say in a week, the rest of your life, and Now, the average is around 500 cedis. So it means you need 1,500 every week.
Yeah.
Times 4 will give you 6,000 every month. 6,000 times 12 months, then you'll be hitting 72,000 a year. So if you multiply 72,000 a year by number of years you are living, then it will be better to go for transplant if you have a donor, so that it will be a one-time payment.
Yeah.
You don't have to make all of those payments. Now, the dialysis is also one treatment where the machine will do the work of the kidneys for you. So you go in there, you take your blood, goes through some lines into the dialysis machine. You have a filter in the dialysis machine that will filter the blood, take away the excess water, balance the electrolytes, and then bring it back to you. So you go through that cycle for 4 hours. You need that 3 times in a week to survive. If not, you'll not survive. So these are some of the treatments that we do. Now, the prevention, as I mentioned, is a non-communicable disease. Therefore, we expect that the things that you must do to prevent cancers and the others is the same thing you should do. One, you should eat properly. Enough of these junk foods. Enough of these sugar drinks that we see. Enough of these energy drinks that you don't add anything, that doesn't add anything to your body. Because as you do that, you're introducing more chemicals into your body, more toxins, and the body must now clear them all. So you're putting too much burden on your kidneys to do that. So you should start eating well. You should start exercising. So, and I don't like those who do every Sunday or Saturday to go and climb the mountain and come back. Once they get down, they start eating as if nothing has happened.
Like, yeah, at least I'm going to do this. So
the exercise is not just about that, but I mean, walking to your office if you can, using the stairs instead of using the elevator. Some even saving, sweeping your own room.
It's also a form
of exercise. Washing, as you bend down to wash, you're also exercising. So now exercise becomes a way of life. You can decide to wash your own car, then take the car to the washing bay. There are things that you can do. You can have a skipping rope in your house and do all of those things. So these are things you can do, which are part of the exercise that you can do to stay healthy. So I'm speaking about, for us also, we need to ensure we prevent all kinds of infections. So if you have to ensure personal hygiene so you don't get infections in you, you have to do that. If you have to have mosquito net in your house so you don't have mosquitoes coming to bite you, you need to do that. Where you even procure your food from, because some of the food you have may be poison with cholera and other infections, which can also lead to a problem. Then I also talk about those who do self-medication. Because there's some medicines that you take that are dangerous to the kidneys, but you may not know. So anytime you get to the hospital, let the doctors give you a prescription, tell you what to do, so that you don't end up getting kidney disease. If you have diabetes or hypertension, make sure it's under control. Because if you don't control it properly, it can lead to kidney disease. There are some men who say, if I take the BP medicines, I won't be able to function in bed, so I won't take it. So as you want to function in bed, your kidneys are affected. If your kidneys are affected, you can't function all the way. So why don't you prevent it in the first place than to get to that worst situation? But I would say that anything we do, we know which is healthy. Reduce your salt content, avoid alcohol, avoid smoking, live your life more healthy. I mean, we all grew up knowing what we need to do to stay healthy. Eat more fruits and vegetables. There are things that you can do to stay healthy, and you can protect your kidneys and all the other organs too. Okay,
quite interesting. Unfortunately, our time is almost over. But then I'd like you to give me, the different dimensions of dialysis treatment we have right here in Ghana, and also any last advice you'd have for the people in just 1 minute. Let's just wrap it all up with that.
All right, so we have 2 forms of dialysis, peritoneal dialysis and hemodialysis. And the difference is that for the hemodialysis, there's a machine that your blood goes through. At the peritoneal dialysis, we introduce the fluid into your body, then it does that, it cleans this up. Now, we have very few patients do peritoneal dialysis because the fluid is imported now. Many people cannot afford the fluid, and also you need a very sterile environment where you can keep the fluid. But we introduce them into your stomach where your intestines are. So if there's any slight infection, it will poison your whole system and you have a problem with that. And so we do most of the hemodialysis in Ghana. There are a number of centers in Ghana, and what we need to do is that once you start hemodialysis, you should be ready to do your sessions, do your labs and that thing, so you can stay healthy. My final words will be, it's a non-communicable disease. So all the things that we do to prevent cancers and all those things, let's do them. And we can say, because if you don't and you get kidney disease, the cost alone will cripple you. So as I mentioned, suppose you need 72,000 every year for just for dialysis sessions. Your labs haven't come in, your transportation to the hospital is not in. How many people can afford that?
No,
6,000 cedis a month. How many people have salary of 6,000 cedis a month? So it's better to prevent than to get a stage where you have to waste all your money and bring a burden to your family. They become beggars. And so let's try and live healthy, and then we can take care of ourselves.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. James. Of course, as you said, let's try and live healthy so we can take care of ourselves. So unfortunately, this will be wrapping up the Healthy Morning Show, but then we have some birthday wishes over here. So first of all, a happy birthday. This is going to Inshra Ado. This is coming from Prince Ado. He says he wishes his daughter a happy birthday. Have a wonderful day today, Inshra. And also away from that, a happy birthday right here. It says, watching you grow and blossom into this amazing girl is the greatest joy of our life. We are so proud to be your parents. We love you with all our hearts, Naya. Happy birthday to your precious gift. We are grateful to have you in our life. This is from your parents and your big brother, Naya. Have a wonderful day today, Naya. And then also a happy birthday to Mr. Prince Charles Nyako. May God richly bless you and may you keep growing in grace and in beauty. And then also away from that, a happy birthday to Madam Yakunedu. Happy birthday to you. May God richly bless you and your family. And a happy birthday also to Anchorite Sir Frank. You are richly blessed today. I hope that you have a wonderful day. This is coming from Apostle Thomas Kusi Apia. And lastly, a happy birthday right here. It says, Dad, you always be my favorite superhero. Happy birthday, old man. Wishing the best dad in the galaxy and out of this world birthday. Happy birthday. I'm the luckiest person to have a dad like you. You're one of a kind and I love you so much. So happy birthday to you. May God richly bless you. So these are the birthday wishes that we have for today. And tomorrow again, we'll be coming on your screens, which is Friday. Keep watching Healthy Morning. We have a safe day. Have a blessed day, people.